Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Strategic Wealth Strategy Podcast with our host, Alan Porter. Alan, what's going on, man? How are you?
How you doing? It's a beautiful day out here in North Carolina, a little cool, but I'm doing fine.
Yes, we're getting very, very close to Christmas. I can't
Yes.
believe it. December, halfway gone already. I guess we're how many days till the new year? And who knows? And that's why we have these great conversations today. And Alan, today we're going to kind of talk about some involving talking more about different types of plans and investments and things like this. So, why do people save money in a qualified plan like a 401k, a 403b, a 457, or an IRA?
Well, they think it's a tax deduction, but every dollar uh, that they put in, it is a tax deduction now, but it grows over a 30-year period. And I tell people, would you rather pay taxes on the seed, the smaller portion, or the harvest, the larger portion? And I'll tell you what, the government wants you to pay the taxes on that larger portion at a tax rate that they're going to determine in the future. And I'm going to give you an example. Let's say you've got a tax deduction now, and you're putting $500 a month in, so that's $6,000 a year, and you put that into an account, that's $180,000 over 30 years. Now, you haven't paid taxes on that $180,000, but let's say it grows at a percentage of 6% net of fees over that 30-year period. Well, now that account is $750,000. So what would you rather do? Pay taxes at a tax rate that is the lowest in 70 years on $180,000, or pay taxes in retirement when you can't afford that on $750,000 at a tax rate that's most likely to be higher? And people don't understand this. We've been inundated by the propaganda of Wall Street to invest in your 401k. That's the best retirement plan available. Well, it's not the best retirement plan.
Oh, it's definitely because of just different things you've talked about before on this program, and it's just like you just don't know, and especially with this economy and all these different things and the taxes, and we'll talk about this. What is the fallacy in this type of thinking?
Well, the first, like I said, you're paying taxes on a larger portion. But the thing about a 401k, people don't understand, it's invested in the stock market and whatever, but it doesn't protect you from the risk in retirement. It only compounds it. And I tell people you need to be protected not only now in your family, but also in the future, and have things that are tax free, gross tax deferred, but also give you ability to have long-term care assets that are tax free for pennies on the dollar. And people do not understand this. They think, well, I'm never going to need long-term care. Well, long-term care affects 70% of all Americans. And people between the age of 18 and 64 are on long-term care right now. And long-term care right now, costs $50,000 to $200,000 a year, and it goes up by 6% every year.
That seems like a good business model for the person paying for that, right? Not them paying for it, but the people that own them, right? That's crazy. That's like sometimes more money it costs to live there than live in a luxury apartment, Alan.
Oh
With
yeah,
the
absolutely.
crazy. Are people paying a fee for management of these plans?
Well, I get a kick out of this one. There's a video by Tony Robbins. I'm sure everybody knows Tony Robbins, a very smart man. And he states in that video that 58% of the people don't even think there's a fee in a 401k. The average fee in a 401k is 2.99%. And just a 1% fee, Neil, in the 30-year period will reduce your income by 1/3. And that 2.99, people are going to have less than half of their money when they go to retire, and they have no idea about it.
What type
But
of investments okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah. What type of investments are in these plans?
Well, think about it. Most of these 401ks, they have mutual funds. And of course, a stock portfolio, but people don't know what they're investing in. Oh, I mean, Dave Ramsey, buy term and invest the difference. The worst advice I've ever heard in my life. Because 99% of people are going to buy term, but they're not going to invest the difference. And the 1% that do invest the difference, they have no idea what they're investing in. But like mutual funds have fees that are over 4%. Now, this is by a Forbes article I can send to anybody. And, like I said, their fees are just unbelievable. Not only the fees that you have in your 401k, but the fees that are attached to these vehicles. And they sell mutual funds probably 2 to 3 times a year in your portfolio and that encounters another fee.
What is your thought about a retirement plan?
Well, my thought about retirement and my strong belief, and I back up what I say, because everything that I say is backed up by scientific, economic, and mathematical facts. But the people who are properly licensed and properly educated know that cash value life insurance is the greatest tax-free, tax code approved, tax-free retirement system available today, with many benefits that a stock portfolio does not have, and it eliminates many of the risk in retirement. Risks such as sequence of returns risk. Now, we've gone over this, but I just talked to 3 people a day, Neil. One of them is 65, the other one's 70. They have no idea what sequence of returns risk is. And their financial planner hasn't told them either. I think it's criminal. But just real quick, if you go to retire and you have, let's say you have $1 million in a stock portfolio, and you have a loss in the first 1 to 3 years of a 10 or 21 year period instead of the last 3 years, the 10 to 21 year period. Now think about what's going to happen. You get a 4% distribution rate of $1 million. That's $40,000 a year. Well, your 401k just lost, your stock portfolio just lost 10%. Now it's down to 900,000. Well, guess what? Now you can't take that 4% and get a 40,000 distribution rate. You'll probably have to take 6 or 7 or 8% maybe. And if it does that for 2 to 3 years in a row, you're taking out distribution rates that'll reach 20 to 25%, and you're going to be out of money by your 8th or 9th year. And people have no idea about this. I know several people that run out of money in their late 70s and early 80s, and they had over millions of dollars in their stock portfolio. And see, people don't understand, Neil. I'd hate to have my stock portfolio be my retirement vehicle in 2000. And the reason being is because with the market from 2000 to 2010, if you put $100,000 in the market, you had $96,000 left. And that's not inclusive of fees. You probably had between $80,000 to $85,000. But if you're taking money out of that, you're out of money probably in the 5th or 6th year.
That's crazy. That's definitely something that people didn't think about. I've heard you speak about the risks in retirement. Can you go over that quickly?
Well, I just went over one of them, the sequence returns risk, which is absolutely huge. But the number one fear in retirement, Neil, is running out of money before you run out of life. And I show people how to have guaranteed income in life, even if their assets run out. And I'll give you a perfect example. Not only cash value life insurance will do this, but fixed and fixed indexed annuities. And a perfect example, let's say that you have $1 million in a stock portfolio again at a 4% distribution rate. Like as I said, it's $40,000 a year. Do you realize you'd only have to have $650,000 out of that stock portfolio into this fixed indexed annuity to give you the same $40,000 a year, and that's guaranteed for life. And I don't care if the assets run out, the accumulation value runs out in that fixed indexed annuity. They have to pay you that $40,000 a year. And so that eliminates longevity risk, which is a risk multiplier. And if properly structured and becomes a Roth IRA, because you have $350,000 left to pay the taxes on that, it can become a Roth IRA, does not affect taxation of Social Security, nor the means testing for Medicare Part B, and there's no required minimum distribution. And Neil, people have no idea about required minimum distribution. And these people are 60, 65 years of age. And it used to be at 70 and a half, but because of the new Secure Act, it's now 72. If you do not take out the amount of money the government says you have to take out of these qualified plans, it's a 50% penalty plus all the taxes. Some of these people have less than 5% of their money. If they're in the highest tax bracket, because that's just federal, you got state tax, you got AMT tax, you got all kinds of taxes. And people are not prepared for this. And they can't will it to anybody except if their spouse or somebody is disabled in their family. If he passes away, then they give it to the spouse. But that money cannot be willed to the son or grandson. It has to be paid out in a 10-year period and taxed at your beneficiary's tax rates and not yours. So it's an absolutely huge thing. But if you build that thing correctly and use that $350,000, and you don't have to use the whole $350,000 to turn it into a Roth, you'll have extra money to do whatever you want. But the thing is, it's tax free, and that's absolutely huge for people, because they think taxes they're going to be a lower tax bracket. Well, we've gone over this before. Federal, and I just checked the national debt today. Last fall, the Congressional Budget Office report stated that if we don't raise taxes on a $31 trillion deficit, if we don't raise taxes overall by 66%, we can't even pay the interest on the debt, and the country will go bankrupt. Well, guess what, Neil? The debt right now is at $34 trillion.
Oh, man.
You got to see that debt clock. It just climbs and climbs and climbs. It's amazing. But it's crazy. And the only way they're going to do it is to get rid of benefits or raise taxes. Well, with what's going on in our administration, they keep, all these wars for funding. We've got how many billions of dollars have we given to Ukraine? And then our border is a disaster. You want to talk about terror? My God, we got how many thousands of people are killed every year with fentanyl. But something's got to be done, or our country's not going to be the way it is.
It sounds to me that a stock portfolio in retirement only compounds those risks, right?
Oh, absolutely, because there's nothing guaranteed in a stock portfolio. So they can't guarantee you, they can't eliminate the risk of running out of money. They can't eliminate sequence returns risk. In fact, they compound it. They can't eliminate longevity risk, and they can't. And see, here's the big thing: if you turn those things into a Roth, there's the three biggest things that you can guarantee risk that you don't ever have with a fixed index annuity or cash value life insurance, and that's government risk, tax risk, and market risk, because we are not tied to the market to grow our indexing strategies. We use S&P 500 index, the Barclays Dynamic Balance Index, other things. There's dozens of them out there, but we are not tied to the market. So you're guaranteed by contract, never have a loss due to monetary downturn in the market. And, I tell people, listen, I'm not going to make you rich, but I can make sure that you never run out of income. And I'll guarantee you that you'll have a healthier, happier, and longer life because you don't have to put up with the stress of a stock market portfolio going up and down.
All right. Alan, best place that people can contact you, Strategic Wealth, the number 0 @gmail.com, or call you at 910-551-1046. And they can go to your website as well. Search you anywhere, Alan Porter, you're there, featured magazines, featured on television. You're everywhere, Alan. And you're telling it like it is.
Well, I really got selected for a great honor here last month or month before. I was selected for Who's Who in America for financial advice. And that's a big thing for me. But if anybody needs any help, please give me a call.
All right, Alan, we appreciate it, sir. Thanks again.
All right, take care.
All right, that was the Strategic Wealth Strategies podcast, guys. Take care.